Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Late Night Learning. I'm your host, Dr. Anthony Palomba. Now today we're going to be going through the television business. The TV business is very complex and robust. It is an industry that is forever changing. It seems as though the industry itself cannot take a breather. Some 30 years ago, a lot of scholars and industry professionals were screaming the sky is falling because cable and satellite television were being introduced and what would happen to the TV networks. And in the last decade, once again, we have heard the same cries and concerns about the sky is falling for network and cable and satellite because SVOD is here. And so the television industry is a very interesting place in which consumers are able to watch media in a passive way, in a very engaging manner, and are able to share it with other people. And so the television industry is something that everybody on one end or another has a lot of familiarity with. And so in this lecture, we're going to be going through a few different business principles in television. We're going to be looking at CPMs, we're going to be looking at advertisement strategies, we're going to be looking at audience research, and also considering cable carriage fees and the affiliate fees that cable and satellite systems pay to channels for the privilege of carrying them. We're also going to get a sense of where SVOD fits in this with the upcoming streaming wars and really getting a sense of what it might look like from a business perspective. So let's get started. And so a few television terms. I know I usually don't have this much text on a slide. I'm against it. But I also wanted to give you proper defined terms here as we move along. And so it's important to know what a SVOD is. It is a subscription video on demand service. So it's a service that gives users unlimited access to a wide range of programs for a monthly flat fee. The users have full control over the subscription and can decide when to start the program. They can also pause, fast forward, rewind, and stop the show as preferred. We have some examples that include Netflix, Hulu, Amazon. We also have HBO, which has an SVOD platform, CBS All Access, Pluto TV, Crackle, and a few other SVOD services out there. The response from cable channels is video on demand. Those are your on-demand truTV, on-demand TNT, on-demand CBS, on-demand NBC. These are interactive television technology channels that allow subscribers to view programming in real time or download programs and view them later. And so many of you who may still subscribe to cable and satellite have access to this. Examples include HBO On Demand and Showtime On Demand. Finally, MVPD. You will see this written constantly on Deadline.com, The Hollywood Reporter, Variety, all of these particular entertainment websites and trade presses. It is a multi-channel video programming distributor, MVPD. When you think of MVPD, I want you to think of cable systems and I want you to think of satellite systems. This includes Comcast, it does include Dish Network, Cox Communication, Cablevision, AT&T, DirecTV, and Optimum Cable. Let's move along. Now, before we can go any further with this, I want to be sure that we understand ratings and shares. TV ratings and TV shares are very important to note. And so ratings and shares do hold a particular purpose here, and they allow us to get a sense of what is being measured. Ratings and shares are very important for television advertisers who then have to sift through what people are doing and what share of the viewing audience particular shows draw. And so here we have ratings. Ratings considers all TV households. So what that means is it is a fraction that looks at the number of households who tuned in to watch a show. Let's say the show Blackish at 8:30 on Tuesday evenings, divided by the entire population of TV-equipped households. I think right now we're sitting on about 115 million TV households in the United States. A share is different. A share looks at the audience who tuned in for a particular show at a time divided by total audience watching TV at that time. So let me back up. The number of total audiences who tuned in to watch Blackish at 8:30 on Tuesday evening, divided by everyone who was watching television at 8:30 on Tuesday night. And so a share is a percentage of the viewing audience. And so you can see here that a lot can be distilled from here. For ratings, we want to know how many people were watching compared to everything else they could be doing, right? We want to see how many people are just watching in general on a Tuesday evening. It gives us a sense of what people are doing. It gives us a sense of people viewing a show versus what every other household is doing in the United States. When we go to share, we're looking specifically at the competition in that particular time frame. So for 8:30 for Blackish on Tuesday nights, for share, we're looking at how many people out of everyone who was viewing Blackish at 8:30 was watching that particular show. Was watching that particular show against those who were watching television in general at 8:30. Let's move along. And so some TV math here, just to make sure that we're clear on this concept. If there are 100 total TV households and 50 TVs are on at 8 o'clock, if 30 households tune in to watch, let's say, Modern Family, what is the rating and what is the share? We know 30 households, or the amount of households that are watching Modern Family. So what is the fraction for rating and what is the fraction for share? Let's move along. And there are your answers. So for rating, it would be 30 divided by 100, right? It would be 30 divided by 100 total television households. This creates a 30 rating, if you will. This is how they are scored on rating metrics. A share would be 30 divided by 50 for total television households with television sets on during programming, otherwise known as HUT. So that would create a 60 share. And this is how these particular ratings are distilled. Let's move along. So as we're thinking about this, it's important to know ratings and shares. Obviously, advertisers are way more interested in television shares. Television shares let you know how many people are watching a show against all the other people who are watching at the same time. And so for advertisers, they need to know this. But there are two exchanges that go on when we watch television. Even though here we might be in an airplane watching television, there are still exchanges going on. Two things that happen. One, there is the buying and selling of media space. And so an advertiser, could be Puppy Chow, could be Honda, could be Victoria's Secret, who contacts me at NBC and says, we'd like to advertise on your television network. Fine. So what I might say to them is, you can do that, but I need to know what you are expecting of us audience-wise. So you may say from Victoria's Secret, we understand that The Voice is very popular, we understand that This Is Us is very popular, or Superstore is popular, whatever the show may be, and we want to advertise in that time frame. We understand that you generally have 2 to 4 million people who come to watch. And so I, NBC, might have some sort of arrangement or agreement with Victoria's Secret about how much they're willing to pay for the media space. And so that's the first transaction that occurs here. The second transaction that occurs is that when I am NBC and I am airing The Voice, I am airing This Is Us, I am also bringing in an audience to sell to advertisers. Yes, people are also commodities. It's not just lingerie. And so it is possible, therefore, to have two different kinds of exchanges going on simultaneously when we're watching television. And so audiences are given content as a reward for viewing content. Advertisers are given target audiences by cable network and distribution platforms to broadcast advertisements to. Now, I have some funny acronyms right below it, C3 and C7. Have you seen these metrics before? Or maybe read about them in a trade press? Weird. What could those mean? For C3 and for C7, they're just as important for television managers as they are for advertising managers. These particular metrics look at how many audiences have viewed a commercial 3 days after the commercial has aired. C7 looks at how many people have watched a commercial the day it has been aired on a television show debut and 7 days after. Due to delayed viewing, due to all of us DVRing American Horror Story and other items, advertisers have to wait for people to ingest, to literally look at the particular advertisements themselves. And so new metrics have been devised to measure this. And so it is relevant here to have these particular metrics in order to measure how many people have actually seen your commercial over a period of time. There still is, to some extent, and this does happen occasionally, company sponsorship of entire program. We'll see this sometimes with holiday specials and other things. Yankee game brought to you by Exxon, or Yankee game brought to you by Mercedes-Benz or Honda or whatever it may be. These particular sponsorships are another way in which advertisers get involved in television broadcast. Let's move along. Audience research. And so when I was in industry a few years ago, there were a few interesting items that lent themselves to looking at audience research in a very, very different light. For one, media research continues to happen. Media research is really in an interesting point right now because a lot of SVOD and digital platforms have been devised. Now, what that means is that I'm able to truthfully know how much Keith, how much Dennis, or how much anybody else has watched something. I can know how often they scroll onto something, when they leave something, when they pause something, and how many episodes they've truly watched of teenage pregnancies or teenage moms or whatever else they may be viewing. And so from there, I can get a better sense, really, of their true audience consumption habits. Do I need to give them a survey? Should I rely on other market research metrics? Probably not. Probably not. As a result, there are a lot of questions around what do we do with research now in 2019 that everything is being measured and accurately measured. And so there are a few things that still exist in market research for now. For one, focus groups absolutely still exist. There's a lot of content testing, product testing, idea testing, concept testing that does go on, although primarily in television, it exists in Los Angeles, although some people in New York City still conduct this. Usually, participants who engage in this kind of research are compensated with $50 to $100 per hour. In New York City, it's likely about $150. There are also 2-hour ethnographies that may go on. In fact, media researchers may come into your home and watch you as you're using a particular device. And so that usually comes out to about $100 per participant. There is also surveys. Surveys still go on. When I was in industry, depending upon the size of the project, the scope of the project, $25,000 to $300,000 would be charged to the client, depending on the amount of questions, demographic cuts, and other items there. And so still, when entertainment firms work with third-party vendors and research firms, they'll fill out an SOW, a statement of work, or some sort of proposal. And so from this proposal, you can see here that there's an agreed-upon research study and agreed-upon deliverables. And so it's still something that exists, although the nature of it will be evolving as more and more entertainment companies get better at conducting research. Let's move along. Cable carriage fees. And so retransmission consent. It enables operators and other multi-channel video programming distributors, your MVPDs, to obtain permission from broadcasts before carrying their programming. And so, in other words, DirecTV, Time Warner, Optimum, Cablevision all pay ESPN for the privilege to carry ESPN, the privilege. And so, cable providers pay about $30 for a few dozen channels. As you can see from this graphic, and I think right now it's updated to about $7.85 in 2019, but this was the most recent graphic I could find with all of these channels. You can see how much these channels charge MVPDs for the right to carry the channel. So for ESPN, back in 2014, although like I said earlier, right now it's about $8, you can see that ESPN charges $6 per person that is subscribed to an MVPD. So for instance, DirecTV may say, okay, we have 30 million people who can access ESPN. They are able to access ESPN through our satellite system. This is DirecTV. Fine. So 30 million times 6 is 180 million, right? That's how much per month DirecTV pays ESPN, for instance, for the right and privilege to carry the particular channel. And so very, very quickly, you can see how lucrative this is, although if we look closely, ESPN is really the only channel here that is outright more valuable than the other channels. And this largely is still consistent today. TNT is about $1.50 here. It might even be $1.75 or $2 at this point, but the other channels aren't even close to ESPN. But in saying that, and in saying that affiliate fees go up every year, that ESPN will ask to charge more money, and NFL Network will charge more money, and Fox News will charge more money. Are more people coming? Let's move along. As you can see here, and this is a lot of information, this is a graphic that I took from Variety. As you can see, if you look on the left-hand side with NBC Universal's cable portfolio, and that is what is showcased here, you can see the networks. You can see USA, Universal HD, CNBC, Golf Channel, Sci-Fi, NBC, SN, Bravo, E, MSNBC, Esquire Network, and so on and so forth. If we go to the right, you're going to see in the middle columns affiliate fee per sub per month for 2016, or excuse me, for 2015, and then to the right-hand side, 2017. So you can see at the top for the USA Network, you can see it started as $1 per subscriber per month in 2015. It went up to $107 in 2017. If you look at the black bar next to it, or the navy blue bar, you can see that all of the affiliate fees went up. If we go all the way to the right-hand side of the slide, we can see subscribers. We can see to the left-hand side of it, total subscribers in 2015 and total subscribers in 2017. What is happening here? What we're seeing, affiliate fees are going up and total subscribers are going down. Let's look at the next slide. For Viacom, it is the same darn trend. We're seeing those two white columns, the affiliate fees from 15 and 17, 2015, 2017. And then we have the black bar in the middle. Everything is going up. All the charges are going up. If we go to the right, we can see a decrease, a decline in subscribers. Do you think it's different for Disney? Let's move along. For Disney, it is not different. All the channel fees are going up and subscribers are going down. Let's move along. So, ultimately, this gets back to cord cutting. This is a great segue into cord cutting. This is a serious issue. This is a way serious issue for these particular cable companies. Traditional U.S. pay TV providers did see a 3.7% drop in 2017, down to 94 million households. And so less and less households are subscribing to cable and satellite. There are about 187 million adults who still view pay TV, but this is also down. The average pay TV bill in 2017 was still about $101. But we know for Hulu, we know for Netflix, really good SVOD services can range from $10 to $30 to $40. Way cheaper than what is being offered by other pay TV, cable, and satellite firms. Virtual multi-channel services will hit about $2.82 billion overall in 2018 and $7.77 billion by 2022. There is very much a bright future ahead for a lot of these SVOD services. They're portable, they're flexible, they encompass a lot, and they allow consumers to avoid advertisements. Let's move along. If we look at the amount of SVOD viewers, at least once a month, who are accessing these particular services, we can see here clearly Netflix is the king. Netflix rakes in about 150 million viewers per month. And so it's people who are accessing Netflix and view it. People who access Netflix and view it. And so this is way, way higher than Amazon Prime Video, Hulu, HBO Now, and Sling. And so Netflix still retains the bulk of SVOD views. Let's keep going. TV advertisements. We're seeing a few trends in TV advertisements that are different now. TV advertisers have to go elsewhere. They're looking for different opportunities. And so in particular, TV advertisers who are looking for smaller firms tend to be trying to showcase them on television. TV networks are beginning to target smaller brands like Blue Apron and new startups. But why? New, smaller firms tend to be digital first and receive ad data from social, mobile, and web-based tools. And so these firms are measuring audiences differently in a more progressive way, which does aid these TV channels in getting and receiving more accurate audience information, and they also have less leverage than Procter & Gamble and General Motors. If you think about it, Procter & Gamble and General Motors are big, big corporations that have a lot of leverage if they want to advertise on ABC, CBS, NBC, and so on and so forth. But with smaller companies like Blue Apron, they may be open to different advertisement deals. They may be open to different kinds of ways in which to purchase media time. Let's move along. CPMs. CPMs are known as cost per thousand. The M is a Roman numerical, and that's why we have CPMs and not CPTs. But it is used to denote the price of 1,000 advertisement impressions or views. What would you pay for every 1,000 people who view your commercial? So that means that if a website or television channel charges $3.50 CPM, it means advertisers must pay $3.50 for every 1,000 impressions or views. And so the agreed amount price is done before the airing of a broadcast. And so NBC works hard to get that CPM up, and advertisers will then come back with and say, well, only 1 million people showed up instead of 3 million. We're going to pay you less. And so according to Nielsen, the average cost of reaching 1,000 viewers via TV network is now $42.90. Nearly twice $24.08 CPM broadcasters earned in 2012. And so it has gone up. Network television has been able to increase its CPMs. A 30-second spot on CBS does cost about $130,000, slightly higher than ABC and Fox. I recognize that CBS has a bit of a different audience management strategy than ABC or Fox. CBS tends to go after, well, everyone. If we think about Big Bang Theory, if we think about CSI, if we think about 2.5 Men, a lot of these shows, include Mom included as well, a lot of these shows also bring in a lot of people and a lot of different people. And so there's a lot of value there. ABC brings in primarily women and families, and so it's a little bit higher because women make the bulk of consumer decisions in the household. They typically go grocery shopping slightly more than men. They typically make a lot of different purchasing decisions. And so it is very valuable to have women. And Fox typically goes after an older male audience. And so it makes sense that the advertisement breakdowns are what they are here. CBS delivers an average audience of 9.5 million viewers during September 25th to October 1st, which was higher than ABC and Fox. And so I highly, highly recommend signing up for Synopsys, Cynopsis, Synopsys. It is a very, very good email service in which ratings will be emailed to you. I also recommend signing up for the Wrap. That will also aid you in receiving this kind of information and not really having to pick up a finger. So that's CYNOPSIS for synopsis, and the wrap, THEWRAP. If you go onto those sites, you'll be able to sign up for emails, and you'll regularly be given this information, which is super, super valuable. Let's keep going. So among advertisements, among television content, and among other elements here are the Emmy nominations. This is what television shows typically fight for. This is what television shows strive to achieve and strive to experience. Cable channels do continue to accrue Emmy nods, but they face stark competition. Cable has experienced an uptick in Emmy nominations, but broadband online services have significantly increased their own Emmy nominations. So what we can see here is that cable right here in 2008 was slightly below broadcast. Broadcast television was still the it thing, even in 2008. What we begin to see, though, is cable rising more and more. HBO getting more nominations. Other kinds of cable channels receiving more nominations. We can also see broadband. Broadband includes your Netflixes, your Amazons, your Hulus. And we can see that there's an uptick in Emmy nominations or Emmy nods. And so broadcast television is kind of in a pickle because broadband and cable are receiving way more nominations than broadcast, but Emmys are typically broadcasted on a network television channel. And so if we think about it then, if we're thinking about watching Fox or watching NBC and going on to these channels for Emmy programs, but it's all cable channels that get nominations and all SVOD services that get nominations, it's a 2-hour commercial for Netflix on Fox. It's a 2-hour commercial for USA Network on Fox. It's a 2-hour commercial for HBO on Fox. And so as more and more competition has entered into the Emmy nomination process, it's a question that networks have to face. Is it still lucrative to host the Emmys? Because what you wind up doing, it seems like, is really hosting a commercial for other TV channels, other cable channels, and other SVOD services as well. And so it's an interesting conundrum the industry has to face. Well, that's all the time we have on Late Night Learning. As always, keep laughing and keep learning.